In the heart of a small village nestled among rolling hills, there lived a young man named Ezekiel. He was a fervent Christian, his face burning like a wildfire. The villagers admired him for his unwavering devotion, and he was often seen leading prayer meetings and singing hymns with a voice that seemed to touch the heavens. But Ezekiel had a secret, a darkness that gnawed at his soul. Hidden behind his righteous facade, he indulged in sins that would make even the devil raise an eyebrow. Lustful thoughts, deceitful actions, and a heart stained with guilt. He knew he was a hypocrite, but he couldn't break free from the chains that bound him. One fateful evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Ezekiel received a frantic call. His cousin, Sarah, was convulsing violently, her body writhing in agony. The villagers gathered around her humble home, their eyes filled with fear. Sarah's parents were old and frail, and they had no one else to turn to. Ezekiel rushed to her side, his heart pounding. He pushed through the crowd, his fervor now focused on saving his beloved cousin. Kneeling beside her, he began to pray, but as he closed his eyes, something strange happened. The room shimmered, and the air thickened. Ezekiel's skin prickled, and when he opened his eyes, he found himself not in Sarah's abode but in a desolate landscape. Ezekiel wore tattered rags, and his once fervent face now wavered. He felt exposed and vulnerable. Was this a vision, a punishment for his hidden sins? And aliens appeared, its voice echoing in Ezekiel's mind. Why do you pray, fool? Your face is a mere illusion. Your heart is stained. Ezekiel trembled. I am but a vessel, he stammered, a sinner seeking redemption. The alien tilted its head. Redemption? You wear your sins like a cloak. Your prayers are empty echoes, but we see your true image as a fool who dances between light and darkness. Ezekiel's shame burned hotter than any hellfire. He had preached about salvation, yet he himself was lost. Ezekiel fell to his knees. He repented and wept. Tears mingled with the dust. Forgive me, Lord, he cried, for I am unworthy. As Ezekiel persisted in prayers for forgiveness, an angel appeared, comforted him, raised him up, changed his rags to a white robe, and whispered, sin no more. And then, as suddenly as it began, the vision shattered. Ezekiel found himself back in Sarah's room, her convulsions easing. The villagers stared at him, their eyes wide with wonder. Had they witnessed the fool's transformation? From that day on, Ezekiel changed. He confessed his sins openly, seeking forgiveness not just from God, but from those he had misled. He wore no more masks, no more rags of hypocrisy. And though the villagers whispered about the strange events that had transpired, they also saw a man who had faced his inner demons. Ezekiel's fervor remained, but it was tempered with humility. He knew he seemed to be a fool, but now he embraced it. For sometimes it takes a fool to find true wisdom, to see the light even in the darkest corners of the soul. And so, in the quiet moments before dawn, Ezekiel would look up at the sky, wondering what was like when he was still keeping his sins. After all, he had learned a lesson he would never forget, that redemption lies not in perfection, but in the honest acknowledgement of our flaws. The fool's image became a legend in the village, a cautionary tale for those who wore masks and danced between shadows. And Ezekiel, he continued to pray, not as a fervent saint, but as a broken man seeking grace.